Hey Tina.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. If you move
Okay.
your cursor around, you probably got a little video, and it's probably got a red line across it. If you click that, then your video will come up for me. There you are. How you doing?
I'm okay. How about you?
Good. I'm pretty good. Child, just keeping it all going. Got this all the time going on. Yes, yes. I'm so excited to talk to you. I think I was watching, I was on Facebook one day, and one of the ladies that I follow, I cannot remember her name to save my life, but she's Auntie somebody. So she was talking about your product. I think you had sent some to her, and she was
Oh,
talking.
Aunt Boo.
That's it. Yes.
hmm
Yes, Aunt Boo. I got my notebook out here. I might have to find her again because I think somebody had just shared what she had on there. I was like, let me see what this lady talking about. She looked like an older version of me talking trash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to get to know you and learn about your business and learn how I can help you connect with some more of your ideal clients. Because obviously, this is just the way we're going to do it right now. Since outside is closed.
hmm
So,
Yeah.
how's I would love just to learn some more about you. Let me write your name on the top of here.
Well, basically, I am the founder of healthehoneypot.com, and that's one word because it is another lady that has a honeypot company, but my specialty is educating. I am a community advocate. I'm a certified female life and wellness coach. I focus on healing the mind, the body, and your honeypot all naturally. So everything that I talk about, everything that I do is all about building true sisterhood and for women to start taking control of their bodies because so often we don't do that. We wait till we have a problem. And positivity, being happy, being proud of the skin, the body that you're in, and recognizing your beauty and building relationships to collaborate with other women to make us a force to be reckoned with. So
Come
that's
on now.
basically, and then I provide products that are natural that I personally use myself, um, with my partners and my suppliers that I have. So I'm my goal is to have eventually a big hub of all natural products. I do have it on the local range right now. I don't have everything on my website other than one of my main products, which is my jewel pads.
Is that related to were they once known as the Cherish Pads?
No,
Okay, okay, that's
no.
something different. So I
But
have
yeah, they're totally different. Cherish, I use Cherish.
okay.
I actually used Cherish before this, and it was really, really good.
Hmm.
It focused on positive ions, which just does this exact same thing, except it take it to another level.
Okay.
We the only company in North America that has graphene inside of our sanitary napkin. And graphene, if you Google it, it's doing some amazing things.
Can you spell that for me?
What graphene?
Hmm.
Oh, GRAPHENE. And basically, graphene is natural. It's a carbon atom, but it has natural vibrational energy to work with your natural energy of your body. It has different things that has different health benefits, such as helping boost the help with metabolism. It helps with pain. It helps with relieving stress. It's a 99.9% bacteria killer. It actually helps with supporting your immune system and strengthening it. That's what it do. It strengthens the immune system. It even helps on a cellular structure of helping with your cells, and it detox and get your body clean. And it's all natural. And all these pads have it. Our panty liners and also our pads, they all have it. Everything in our pad is all natural from the top to the bottom. It's created to make a good experience with your cycle. And so I have a product, but my mission is more important to the fact that education comes first.
That's
Because
right.
because a lot of women don't know there's a problem. They know they're having all these issues, and we have developed a culture where women, we feel uncomfortable to talk about things that we deal with. And a lot of us suffer adversely because we don't talk about it. We feel that it's unladylike, or I don't know. And a lot of this stuff can be avoided if we start having those healthy conversations about our body. Our bodies is
Absolutely.
special. And so it's more of a, wait a minute, let me move this way, I'm getting a text message. But it's about having those healthy conversations and stuff like that. And I do it in a fun way. Because I feel like this information can be a little bit nerve-wracking for some people. They feel kind of like, oh my goodness, she's talking about a cycle, she's talking about a period.
Well, you got the right one, honey, because I love creating the space, the atmosphere, the culture for us to have conversations that we really need to have that some people like to sweep under the rug. I'm just going straight for the juggler. They be like, oh my God, you talking about that? I'd be like, girl, come on in here and sit down. Come on.
Yep, that's how I am too, but I do it with humor because I talk with children too.
Good.
And so I needed, when I was first thinking of my name, it had to mean something to me. Yes. And it had to be personal to me in order for me to share what I feel more authentically. So I call my little hoo-ha a honeypot. So I was like, okay, well, that's not too intrusive for a young person.
Right.
And it's fun for a woman because we don't even want to say the B word.
Right.
Like, we don't even want to say it. So it's good on both angles because I go into a lot of schools and teen summits, women empowerment, and it makes it okay to say it on a public platform. They can laugh about it, but then we get to the meat and the potatoes about what the issues are, self-love, getting ourselves together, learning to really support and stop competing, but collaborating. So it's a deeper level, and I just happen to provide products that fall in that, because many times people give you problems, an array of problems, but they never have a solution. So you get all this information, and now you're like, okay, so what am I supposed to do with it? Like, do you recommend anything? Do you have anything?
I mean, that's, when you think about it, honestly, in business, if you're doing business for the right reasons, one, your heart is in it.
Yeah.
Two, you can provide a solution. And people do business with people that they like, they trust, and when you have these type of conversations, that just makes you a lot more resourceful. So we vibing on all levels right now, because this is what I do. I think I was telling you I run a nonprofit called the Chosen Few Financial Empowerment and Wellness Workshops. So I want to say in 2017, I did a big ladies' day, and it was a pretty good success. We had a guy there with his line dancing team. We had my best friend Ray Carr, who was a hypnotherapist. We had a lady there selling some handbags and shoes and stuff. And that's all fine and great. But to me, what's really important is that when we walk away from it, we all walk away more educated, empowered, and resourceful just because we know each other. So it's like you were saying, I mean, I do plenty of business with guys as well, but I think that as women, a lot of times from a young age, we're taught to just get in line, talk soft, be quiet, speak when you're spoken to. And that's where a lot of that hesitation comes from, to have conversations about the honeypot, because, hey, well, we're not going to talk about that. We're going to pretend that they always work the way they're supposed to, that they don't ever itch, they got no little smells and things happening. If we can't address it, then how can we heal it?
You can't.
And that's in anything. So, I mean, I've got ladies in my circle who are as varied as snowflakes. I've got people, and I call it my business relationship community. I don't say my network because it's just, that word is overdone. Usually when you're talking about a network, you don't really have people who are really concerned with building genuine, authentic relationships.
Yeah.
You got a room full of people who all come out with the intention of swapping business cards, moving along because they don't really want to be in here anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so
Mhm.
that's not my flavor. That's not my style.
Me
So
neither.
so like last night we had I call it my wine down and drink party. So we had this a Zoom room set up like this. I think at the most people at a time, we had about 13 people in there last night. It was the
Mhm.
first one that we did. And my cousin, actually my first cousin, lives in Greensboro, North Carolina. And she has I guess you could say a blog, but
Mhm.
it's kind of a support group too. So we have an accountability group that we do Tuesday nights at 7:30. And that girl crazy. She just as crazy as I am. Well, she's just starting to really open up and doing more writing and things like that. So we had this whole party. We had music, we had singers, we had spoken word, we had art.
Oh,
Next week is gonna
wow.
be the bomb. Like I can't even announce who's coming on the show yet because we got to get a confirmation. So I don't believe
Oh.
myself look stupid, right? But
Mhm.
so Felicia is bringing a couple of people on who are very well known in their space. So she reached out to them and they were like, yeah, of course. So we're really looking forward to next week, Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We started at 9. We didn't get off this computer till like 1 in the morning. I mean, we
From
just,
from early that morning.
no, 9 p.m.
Oh, okay, okay.
No, child. That's why I'm about to lose my voice right now because I was talking for 4 hours straight last
Oh,
night
okay.
and dancing and we drinking wine and everybody just having a great time wherever they are across the country. So this is
Mhm.
one of the things that I do in helping businesses reach their ideal client because, if we had, if it was a challenge before, just being more exposed and meeting new people in business when we could go outside and be in businesses and storefronts, how much more challenging could it be now? But
Oh, it
now,
is.
since you almost got to get online to reach your neighbor next door, the same way you figure out how to run your business from home with your neighbors is the same way you blow up globally because everyone can reach you online. So, although I can't really say I'm happy about everything that we're going through, I don't talk about this whole virus thing. I don't talk about it. I don't think we need to give it any more energy than it already has. So I call it the paradigm shift because all we're doing is we just have to adjust the way that we do things in order to just continue moving forward. We know just as people of color, we always overcoming things. We laugh to keep from crying. You give us the worst part of the animal, we're gonna turn it into a delicacy. That's what we do. So
Mhm.
with that being said, this is, my way of giving back to entrepreneurs, giving back to people in general, and helping us find some sense of, okay, I can do this. It's gonna be all right. And then you start connecting with other. Every time I have a meeting, whether it's my Wednesday sip and chat business talk, which I definitely want to invite you to. That's 11 a.m. Every Wednesday.
Mhm.
We'll be doing the wind down and drink thing on Sundays at 9 p.m. And I said drink because you can have a drink or you can have a drink. So everybody's having a drink. So it's just a great opportunity to connect. Man, we had a ball last night. Um, and it's just what we do. So of course, learning about your business, and I know there's a lot more for me to learn. Matter of fact, what I'm gonna do while we're talking is I'm gonna get on my phone. I'm gonna go to your website so I can see what all you got going on. Because, like I said, we have the little accountability group that meets on Tuesdays at 7:30. If you're interested in that, I'd love to have you come and talk about what you do and kind of join in that conversation.
Mhm.
And another thing that I do that is more so, it's the paid part of my service. So normally I charge $99 to do a 1 hour long in-depth interview, kind of like a documentary about your business. I encourage you if you got like visual aids and stuff like that to like do a share screen so that everybody can see what you got going on. Or if you want to send it to me and I'll do the share screen. So while we're doing these meetings, one of the things I do is I educate people on how Zoom works. Because a lot of times people just haven't had any reason to use it, or they used it a while ago and it's got some different features or whatever. So, I'm like on the party last night, I'm like, all right, y'all, move your cursor around on your screen. They like, well, I can't see everybody, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, move your cursor around and go up to the upper hand corner and put it on gallery view and you can see everybody. Oh, okay. Or, if you want to invite somebody to the conversation, like right before we dialed in, I was on another call with my cousin Felicia, her friend Deidre. Deidre does, figure the short way to put this. She does locks as well. Like I just retired from a 25-year career doing locks. So she does locks. She makes lotions. She braids hair. She does a bunch of different stuff. So we were talking about it's fine if you got hobbies and it's just a hobby, and it's okay that you want to serve people. That's wonderful. But what happens if down the road you need more finances than you got to serve the people or your family the way you need to? Like her husband is an artist. I forget where else he works. I think he's over the maintenance department of a nursing home. So what if something happens where he can't work anymore and you got to hold it down? You shouldn't have to try to go and do his job. Just do what you're authentically blessed to do. So we were actually just talking about, I was telling her, there's nothing wrong with serving other people, but at the same time, realize that, if you're a Bible believer, the Bible says a workman is worthy of his hire. So, if you're doing something that's a benefit and helping people, you deserve to be blessed as well. So don't turn your blessings down or take other people's opportunity away to be able to bless you. So, like what you do, you bless people every time you open your mouth and you educate them,
I really love what I do. And because I personally had a problem myself, it started because I had an issue, and I've been in health and wellness for like 15 years. And so, it wasn't that I didn't know about the body. Of course I know, and I grow every day because things change. Your body changes. What worked for you when you was in your 20s not gonna necessarily work for your body in your 30s. And then you get to the 40s, you think you got it all figured out, and your body do another shift, and you have to start all over.
Okay.
Like people, it's not gonna, as we change ages, decades, our body changes, and we have to learn to adapt to that and have those conversations. Me personally, I teach out of love, and I teach because I've been there, and I show my vulnerability, letting them know that it's okay, because I had a stroke at 26 years old after my daughter.
I had to say, get out of here.
Oh yeah, and I was partially paralyzed from the waist down. It was not painful. I didn't have any, like they say, things that make you alert you to say, oh, something's wrong, something like that. I mean, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary. I was very sick. My immune system was very weak. I had a whole lot of different issues, from heart problems to a whole lot of different things, asthma, the list goes on and on. And when I just simply went to sleep, and when I woke up the next morning, I could not move the lower part of my extremities. I couldn't feel. I mean, you could take my legs and you could take nails and just stick it in my leg and needles and stuff, and I couldn't feel anything, could not walk or anything. And I lost all of my short-term memory. So anything that was over, that was less than a year, I couldn't recall what happened. And I remember people that was in my life like since childhood and stuff like that. But if it was a year, and at that moment when I had the stroke, I had just had a child 6 months prior. So I had a newborn. So I forgot I even had a child. I like my memory was gone. I could, and that was a lack of connection, because as a mom, I was going through postpartum depression. So it did not last just for 2-3 months. We talking 18 months. And people don't talk about how postpartum depression for some women lasts longer.
Yes.
Than it lasts after you have the baby.
Yeah.
And you don't identify as postpartum. You think you just depressed, or you think you just have baby blues. postpartum can last an extensive amount of time, especially within the Black community.
Yeah.
Because we don't talk about this stuff. We sweep it up under the rug, and I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
And so I share my story because I went from my lowest low point. I don't supposed to be walking. I don't supposed to be talking. I don't supposed to have my memory back. I don't supposed to be alive with some of the stuff that my body has went through. And I know that food is powerful.
Yeah.
Mindset is powerful because now I can walk, I can talk, I have my memory, and importantly with me, it was my faith. Now, some people might not believe in God, but I do. And I tell them that was one of the instrumental things that helped me.
Who don't believe?
Yeah, so I know the power of faith and food and mindset and not giving up and being afraid, being depressed. And I share that because I said, listen, if I can go from not walking to walking, going from taking 12 medications a day and 4 inhalers a day to not having to take a single thing. And I was told that I had to take this for the rest of my life. And now I don't have to do it. And I go to the doctors and get the test and it comes back great. And I'm not taking it. So I'm like, listen, because I had lupus and now I don't.
Okay, so now let me do this. Do you mind if I invite a few other ladies into this call?
Oh, I don't mind.
Okay, hold tight. If you have a few minutes.
I do have another interview at 3:30 though.
Oh, so do I, child. We're not gonna be long, and I'm gonna let them know I want them to do more listening than talking. If they have questions, then ask questions. But I want to go ahead and get you some exposure right now while we having this conversation.
Yeah, because that's why I share, because we feel hopeless, and when we get a diagnosis of something, we feel that that's the end of the road, and that may not necessarily be the case. And I know that if you put the right mindset, start with your mind first, and of course your faith, if you have faith, and then doing the things that will actually help fuel your body to heal itself. Right. And it's possible. Right. It takes time, because natural remedies takes more time. We don't see the effects as soon as you will see it with a doctor medicine, but Western medicine helps one thing and breaks down several other things. And I personally feel that's what led to my stroke, because I was on a whole lot of different medications, different specialists, different doctors, all put me on this different stuff. And no one communicated. So this doctor put me on this doctor put me on that. I'm just being trusting, because I'm like, well, they should know. They're wearing the white jacket. They should know, you know? Absolutely. And then I'm left picking up the pieces. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to go back to them natural remedies. My mom used to have me on that. I used to hate when I was younger. I'm like, Mom, why I got to take all this? No, I'm going back to the old school, and I'm doing it. And that's what I did. And now, here we go. Walking, talking, doing what I love. I couldn't even go around people before the corona. Because your immune system was so weak. Because my immune system was shot. Like, I can go around people and a cold could take me out. Like, it was just terrible. And I couldn't go to places. And now I can go out and about, and I could never do that. And I know it's because faith, food, exercise, mindset. Yes. And everything that we need is in nature. Everything. Absolutely. Child, look, you preaching to the choir. Girl, I'm right here with you. I love that we're having this conversation. I'm sorry. I had to learn, though. And sadly, through trial and error. And my goal is to help make a movement of young girls who never touch a lot of the stuff. They can start teaching them, of course, teaching the moms and teaching women. But if you can get to that younger generation can shape society. It can be a new way of living. And you know, when you're young, you don't be thinking about stuff like that. You think you invincible. You want to just
Invincible.
eat all that fast food. You want to
Can't be
live your
touched.
life.
Can't be touched. Yes.
Yeah, you ain't thinking about that. So,
Something you touched on a minute ago was asthma. So I was diagnosed, 6 years ago, I think. And up until last year, maybe early last year, I never had an asthma attack. Now, I didn't realize it when I was in the military and out there trying to run in doggone Georgia heat. And then my lungs felt like they were on fire. I didn't know that was asthma. I just thought I couldn't run. I was like, dang, okay, well, I guess I'm just built for comfort, not speed. So,
oh, that's exercise induced asthma. People have
yeah,
different levels. So some
absolutely.
people have environmental, the elements, allergies,
Yeah, I
pollen,
have allergic
dust.
asthma. I have
You have
allergic and
exercise
exercise
induced.
induced.
Yep.
Yeah,
So when you do something that's vigorous, it's gonna
release the
exasperate your
insulin.
your way. Yeah. But see, I
Right.
had all of that. Everything bothered me. I was like, man, why I got to have all of them? Like, come on.
Like, just put me in
Like,
a bubble then.
I mean, yeah, that was a joke in the house. I'm like, if you ever saw that old movie, the Bubble Boy, have you ever
Uh-huh.
heard of that?
I
I was
heard
like,
Ramsay.
that's what I need. Like, I'm Bubble Girl part 2, 3, 4. I'm like, and I still and I still have I know I can feel like pretty much when certain things is trying to irritate me. So
Mm-hmm.
when I feel that first little I
Mm-hmm.
start doing stuff like sea moss. I start doing stuff that gets rid of mucus. I start doing my neti pot. I will start doing vaporizing. I will also start using my essential oils to open up my bronchial tubes so they won't spasm.
Yes.
Anything that will get that mucus out.
Yes.
Anything that will get the mucus out, because the
Mm-hmm.
mucus is causing the restriction.
Inflammation and the spat.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I just maybe two 2 to 3 months ago. Really, 'cause I'm a complete nerd. Okay, so anything that I'm interested in, I study it in depth. I might as well just do a term paper. Okay, now I'm gonna get an A. I don't get anything less than A. I really want a couple of pluses on there. Okay, so I
Mm-hmm.
just learned. So some of the things I know that I should be doing, I neglected to do for a lot of years just because I was busy. I'm in the salon all day long, and I got to do this, and now my 4-year-old needs this, and da da. And you talk about,
Mm-hmm. That's what we do.
right,
We,
and
we
put
we
ourselves
hustle all
last.
the time. We
Mhm.
hustle all the time until our body says, I can't take anymore. I've been giving you signs and signals. You
Yep,
haven't been listening, and now I'm gonna put you flat on your butt.
exactly. Exactly. That's exactly what happened to me. So I'm a huge advocate of self-care. Self-care is not laying in the tub eating bonbons. Self-care is saying no. Self-care is stopping to go and use the bathroom when you need to go instead of waiting until
Exactly.
your bladder is in pain. Self-care is taking the time to make some food, or even better, grow some food, which is what I'm doing now. So I've got
Mm.
spinach and kale, strawberry,
Ooh,
and
now you talking my language.
what else I got? So a friend of mine who was a Facebook friend for 3 or 4 years, she runs a farm right down the road from where I'm at now.
Oh wow.
So a little more about my story. I got to where I just couldn't do hair anymore. So Cinco de
Mm.
Mayo last year, 2019, I made this big tearful announcement. I love y'all, but I gotta go. I can't do hair no more. I'm in too much pain. And I discovered a little bit later that because I didn't have proper arch support, I've always known I had flat feet,
Mm-hmm.
but I never knew that it would cause all of the different physiological problems and pain that I
Oh
was having.
yeah.
So from the heel up to the back of my skull, I had
Yeah.
issues. So now I know that I have a stress fracture in my right heel.
Oh my.
I'm avoiding rotator cuff surgery in my right
Mm-hmm.
shoulder. I've got
Mm-hmm.
a couple of places where I've got arthritis in my neck, both knees, ankles. So I've got a lot going on. But when I stopped working,
It helped.
it started to go away. But there are just structural things that I need to do to rebuild my body, and I understand that now. So through doing my workshops, I've been seeking out people and building relationships with people like yourself who have the solutions that people need. Because it's not like I'm the only one going through any health issues. People
No,
going through health issues silently every day.
all the time.
Silently. You know, like I think even right now, my family doesn't believe that I'm in pain all day, every day, because I don't complain about it. First of all, nobody really cares. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, well they do, but you know how that goes. I don't have to explain it.
You already know, like they're used to you doing things the way that you do it. So the idea that, oh, well, you just can't is not really credible. It's like, oh, you be all right. You always all right. And we carry that as a badge of honor, especially women of color. We just
Yeah,
we keep going until the doggone back breaks. So,
yeah,
you know, I got to where I
sad to
couldn't.
say, but yes,
Yeah.
and we
So
have to stop that.
we got to, but if we don't, we're gonna keep seeing the same patterns over and over again. So I'm like, I'm 40 and sometimes I feel like I'm 80. But now that I'm eating
I
better.
totally understand what you're talking about. Like having a stroke at 26 change your perspective on how you see life.
Right. And I
When
mean, a
they
young
meet
woman.
me, yeah, they were like, you're so old for your age. Like you're young, but you speak like an older lady. I said I have seen, and I be around a lot of older people because they
Me
have
too.
the ones that I'm around have a lot of wisdom, and I don't like a lot of
Yes.
foolery. So a lot of drama. That's just a thing. So I would take myself out of a situation to protect my sanity and my
Right.
space of
Right.
positivity. And
That's
so
right.
I'm like, no. No. And so, but I lived through a lot that most young people don't have to deal with. I was that young girl sitting in the office with 60, 70, 80, 90-year-old individuals because my bladder was messed up to the point that I had incontinence.
Right.
And I had to do and take medication and different stuff and use things that was not for a 30, a 29, a 28-year-old, you know. And
Right.
they look at me and they be like, baby,
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? And I have to go through this whole long conversation. I'm walking with a cane. I'm pushing in the whip. What happened? What? And so
But you're proof positive that, like, you know, the misconception that a lot of people have is that we have time. This doesn't happen to people like me. This doesn't happen to people my age, you know.
that's not true.
And what's absolutely also not true is that once this happens, there's no coming back from it.
Yeah.
So you're proof positive for that. So I just want to applaud and appreciate you for that, and just spreading what you do, because that's so much. It's so needed. You know, a lot of people in my business relationship community with a lot of this knowledge as far as health and wellness goes, a lot of them are Caucasians. So for some reason, sometimes we just get this mental block where we can't hear it unless it comes from someone who looks like us. And that's complete and absolute fallacy. That's where we find ourselves messed up quite a bit.
Exactly.
When we got somebody like you in our circle, I'm always happy to make sure that I expose you as much as possible.
Sorry, that was my daughter.
Because I'm here.
Yeah, I love sharing. At first, I was a little reserved with not sharing. I just share with people in close circles of people who may have heard something of someone, a friend, a family, or acquaintance that met me in person or saw me somewhere, and they're like, well, could you talk to my niece? Could you talk to my? And I would do that, but I said, you know what? I would have wished someone would have shared this with me. Maybe I can help someone avoid the path that I was on, just for the simple fact of not being embarrassed of your story. Your story is what makes you you, and it could be the force to help that next person, or maybe a group, start a movement.
That's right.
I'm not perfect in it by any means. I do the 80-20 rule, because I believe that if you're a constant dieter and you constantly take things away from yourself all the time, you're setting yourself up for failure. So I tell people, I say, if you see me out and about and I'm eating cake, I did not tell you I still eat cake.
Okay.
I do 80-20. If you see me drinking some wine or something, hey, I do my stuff in moderation. I eat 80% very, very well, but then I cheat a little bit. I give myself that privilege because that's how
right.
I keep my weight and stuff balanced, because I'm not gonna overindulge, because I know, I can do my 20. I'm doing my 20. Yeah, I'm gonna have that piece of cake. Yeah, I'm gonna do this right here, and I don't feel guilty.
That's right. As you shouldn't. I mean, and I think that's so important. That's so instrumental to long-term success.
Yeah.
You know, like I have one of my guy friends. He says he doesn't eat meat anymore, but he'll sit up in the middle of the bed and eat 10 Debbie cakes.
Ooh.
You know, that's. I'm
but
like,
see, balance is the key, whatever you do.
And get it over with. You sending your body through this huge dosage of sugar, and then it's got to try to back up from this, you know. But I mean, to each person their own. You know, I tell people right now, ain't nothing close to my heart about giving up meat completely. That doesn't mean I won't go 2-3 days and don't eat meat.
Exactly.
You know,
and I still eat meat, but I eat lean meat, baked meat. I don't eat too much fried. I use fried food as and I know people say, how can you give yourself a piece of fried chicken? Well, I do. That my 20. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have this fried because I gotta taste what I'm gonna eat a little bit in moderation. I'm not gonna overindulge, and I'm done with it.
You don't feel deprived. You don't feel deprived, and you don't feel like
we fail. We're depriving ourselves. That's why when we go at it, we just go at it too hard. Instead of eating a slice of cake or two, you eat the whole cake.
Then you be laying up there looking like Professor Clump.
Be like, I feel bad. Of course you do. You ate a whole cake.
Right. And it don't matter. It don't matter how good you did before that. Right now, you're going to deal with the consequences of that choice.
Exactly. Yeah. So people, I'm like a non-traditional healthcare advocate, because some just are totally, I feel like, and I tried that way before. And I'm like, I don't really think it's very wise to encourage people to take away everything.
And it's not sustainable.
Yeah, they're going to fail. You setting yourself up to fail, because if a stressful moment come up in any way, shape, or form, the very first inclination that we're going to do, we're going to run for comfort food. What is that? Macaroni and cheese, anything sugary, anything carbonated, because it feeds the serotonin. It makes you feel like you're happy. It's artificial, but it's like, whoo, I feel so good. Oh, this feels so good. And then after it's over with, you back down to feeling bad and feeling worse. And so I'm like, listen, you shouldn't do that. And you can't avoid all stress.
It's training your body to think that this is what we do when we have this. When this is what we do. This happens, this is what we do. So then you think, subconsciously. It's like, I think I need some cake. Not being mindful and saying, why do I want a piece of cake? Is it just because that cake looks really good and I deserve to eat a piece of cake if I want to? Or is it because I feel stressed, I feel under pressure, and I don't know what to do about it, and this is my coping mechanism, so I'm going to medicate with, 4 pieces of cake?
Exactly. Because it's a reason why we do what we do. It's a reason why we move the way we move, and some things are from birth, like or things that we have learned through childhood, growing up, and you getting rewarded ever since you've been in school with a piece of candy for good behavior.
Right.
We've been trained to do certain stuff, and we wonder why we act and move and do stuff. It's because we have been systematically trained in certain things by our life experiences, and have the power to break it. But do we really want to? That's the thing. Do we really want to? Because it's comfortable. It's comfortable. But I mean, I was like, listen, if you want it, just do it in moderation, because you have the taste, you fulfill that little thing that you needed. But remember that you need to do your natural, your healthy stuff, and also maybe work more on what's going on in your mind.
That's right. That's right. So what I would love to do, excuse me, what I would love to do is do a Zoom that we present to the public. And this isn't something that you have to pay me for. I'm asking people right now because this is how I am monetizing what I'm doing. If you're in a position where you can afford to do something, I certainly appreciate that. But what's most important to me is supporting businesses during this transition and during this paradigm shift to expose as many people as I can to each other so that we can all, like I said before, become more empowered, educated, and resourceful. So, I mean, everything that you shared here, I can probably, once I sit like what I just did for the last few minutes, these are names of people that I know I want to make sure that I get into
Mm-hmm.
into a Zoom conversation with you.
Okay.
Um, Not just because of what you can do for them, but for what they can do for you as well, because
Okay.
of their connections and their business relationship communities. So
Mm-hmm.
that's I mean that's how we all grow.
Exactly. And
So,
share the mission. And I
mhm,
love meeting more people, especially being around more women,
mhm,
because we have this idea that's presented in media that no woman can work together. We can't work together. But I know that's not true.
right.
We not only can we work together, but if we do, it's amazing.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
amazing.
Look, and now imagine this. Imagine, say we doing this paradigm shift for a month.
Hmm.
Say we're really intentional from today and 30 days going forward, and say every day of the week. No, let's just say 3 days a week we connect with three new people. So that's 9 people times four weeks. So you're really talking about at least somewhere between 30 and 40 new people that you have relationships with. So now when outside open up and we go, okay, look, we're gonna do a women's retreat. You know, we're gonna have Tina come in here. She's gonna talk about women's health. We're gonna have Ray come in here and talk about hypnotherapy. She calls herself the fit hypnotist, and she does a radio show out of Savannah. So that's definitely somebody I want to connect you with. My cousin Felicia is very well connected. She's up in Greensboro, North Carolina.
That's
She's
not too
got
far
a.
from me.
Now, where are you exactly?
Camden, South Carolina.
Oh, okay, you right around the corner from me. Then I'm in Columbia.
Oh, girl, you down the street. I stay in Columbia. Well, before the quarantine, I was over there
Right,
all the
right,
time.
right. So imagine when we get ready to do these. When I get ready to do another health and wellness workshop, you know you got to be there. You're gonna talk to every woman in there and every man that's got a woman in his life,
I
right?
talk to the men too. When they come up to my table, I'm like, listen, you really you say you want to be our king, our protector, and all this stuff. This is part of it. If
That's right.
she is not ready to start her journey, you need to encourage her and be like, listen, I love you enough to make sure I want to really take care of your body.
That's right. And I
Because
think that's something that Cherish, they did very well with Inspire and the Cherish pads and everything with the videos they had where the brother was doing a presentation. I just thought that was beautiful. I shared that everywhere. So when I did my ladies event in 2017, um, you know, the young lady that I joined with that business with is from Charleston. So she came here and did a presentation. We had 2 or 3 people join that business under me. So one of the ways that I do my workshops and that I monetize my efforts, because it is a nonprofit, but it's fueled with for-profit services. So so I'll join different businesses under people that I feel are complete experts at what they do. Because I'm a nerd and I'm going to learn it eventually, but
we
I'm
have
a
business
really,
opportunities as well. We have
yes,
fundraisers that we
yes,
do that organizations can do and make money to, or I like to say funds that they
mhm,
can do to support whatever they want to do. And it is very, very good on how much the payback is to that organization.
good.
Um, you're not limited on how many fundraisers you can do. You can do as
Okay.
many as you want.
Hmm.
And it spread the awareness. It's kind of like you just do it. You can do it totally online. That's what I like. You can either do it manually or you can do it totally online. You can do like a mixture of both.
Hmm.
However, you don't have to pay a fee in order to do the fundraiser. You
Okay.
just fill out the paperwork, wait to get approved, and then you'll have your own customized website that you can send out to people that have all the information. You don't have to explain anything about the pads. It has the demonstration. It has what the pads do. Everything that we have with our pads.
That's
and
awesome.
Then after the end of that process, you get paid. You can have people actually have it mailed to your facility, or the people can say, hey, I want my pads now. They can match ship to them, and the company will ship everything to them.
Okay.
And so it could be like, this is like the total hands off almost that you can have. And a lot of businesses, especially nonprofits, are like flourishing with this because they love our mission, for number one.
Yeah.
And number two, they don't have to be an expert. We already did everything for them.
Right.
And then, of course, I don't mind if you do a fundraiser and I show you the paperwork and stuff like that to come in, and you might do a Zoom or something. And I come in and I explain and I share. And then I tell them like to go to your website and support your fundraiser. I have no problem with doing that. I would just have to set it up, give you the paperwork or whatever. Or you can start the business opportunity if you want to provide something for your audience.
Let me get a couple of pieces of information from you. What's your phone number?
803-713-5135.
Okay. And I got healthehoneypot.com.
Yep, one word.
Right. And
all
I know
together.
I got your email address already because I just sent you.
Well, that's one. That was my personal, but my business is info@healthehoneypot.com.
Okay.
Yeah. It's on my website, and I am revamping my website, so it's when I get done, it's gonna be better.
Yeah, I still got some tweaking to do on mine. It's kind of ridiculous. I never would have thought that being at home, quarantined, that I would be as busy as I am now. But
oh, child, I'm busier. Like, really? I'm like, the only thing I can't leave the house like I want to. Oh, I hate that because I had so many things planned. Like my workshop that I was doing with the Girl Scouts was this month. Bees and Honey was this month. A whole lot of different things that I had planned, like the end of last year, was popping up here and going. And I was looking forward to teaching those young girls at the Girl Scouts with their little class and stuff. But it still take place. It's just been postponed because of what's going on and stuff. And I really didn't want to put them in harm's way, because you can be a carrier and don't even know it.
Absolutely.
And I don't want to put myself in harm's way. I have children too in the family, so I'm like, we need to hold on it. But when we get there, y'all gonna be having some fun, because I love to have fun with the girls and stuff like that.
How many children you have?
I have two. I have two teenagers, 15 and 14.
You said 15 and 14?
Yeah.
All right. You got two girls, or a boy and a girl?
A boy and a girl.
All right. That's wonderful.
But even if I had two girls, I still say that's enough for me, baby.
I know that's right, child. I lost my mind and started over at like 36. So I have a 20-year-old and a 4-year-old, both boys.
Oh, wow. Hey, but it teaches you something. I know, like with me, being that I'm more settled now, if I had a child, which I don't plan to, but you just never know what can happen. I feel like I would be a better parent because I know more things. I'm more settled. And when you're in your 20s, you like, woo, 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 woo. You start getting close to 40, getting in your 40s. Your mindset is, for most people.
Well, child, I'm finding myself kind of on the flip side, because my ex-husband and I got married at 18. We had my 20-year-old. I was 20. So I've never had a point where I wasn't somebody's big sister or a big cousin, had to be responsible for a bunch of kids, or, got married at 18. So that was somebody's wife.
Yeah.
And I became a mom at 20. And when we separated at 24, then now I'm an entrepreneur and a single mom. So if I was smart, in hindsight, I would say I would have spent more time with myself, been okay with having one child, but that biological clock, boy, it'll get you in trouble. Oh,
Yeah, we grow, we learn. I got
oh, what
married
else
young
is-
too. I got married when I was 20.
Okay,
Still married now. Still
good.
married now. Let's see. I don't even keep I think this year be 19 years.
So
Um,
you're 39.
yeah, I'm 39.
Okay, and I'm 40, so we right in. It seems
My
like,
husband turned 40 this year. He's just 1 year older than me, and he don't
yeah,
never let me forget it. I'm like, so what
that's
is 1 year? Boy, what is 1 year?
right, right. Look, and it's funny because the older you get, the older old is. Because I remember when I was 18, I thought 21 was ancient. When I turned
Girl, yes.
21, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do when I get 30? I'm going to look like the Crypt Keeper. Then I turned 30 and I was like, okay, you know what? We just going to figure this thing out as we go along. And now that I'm 40, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have the best health of my life. I'm going to take the best care of myself that I ever have. I'm going to eat better than I ever have. And just the audacity that I have now, I kind of surprise myself sometimes because my oldest son calls me the young Medea. If it comes to mind, it's coming out. But that's with some seasoning and some grace on it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because when I
I
was
love
little,
you some dear. I need that laugh sometime.
child, look, when I tell you I be cutting up, I have so much fun now just doing business because I mean, with my financial empowerment workshops, I partner with several companies.
Mm-hmm.
One of them helps people pay off all of their debt in as little as a third to a half of the time it would normally take them. So that's your mortgages, car notes, um, student loans, credit cards, any type of loan payments without a credit check, without having to refinance, without having to change your budget. And you paying this stuff off and rocket, I'm like rocket speed. And to find out about it, I was just like, are y'all serious? So it's a software
Wow.
program. So it's just like a GPS for a shortcut to get you to debt freedom much sooner.
Oh
So
yeah, I need that because I mean, ooh,
yes, child.
if
We
this
all
thing
do.
taught me anything is less is better.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Mm.
So I know I'll be doing a Zoom real soon with my coach, Darlene Preston. She and her husband Harry, they are at the top position in the company with this company, which is United Financial Freedom. So I just found out about it not too long ago, and they had a free opportunity if you're a veteran or you're related to a veteran or first responder. So it was free for me to get involved with that, and because I worked in real estate, life insurance, mortgages, um,
Oh,
health
you're a
insurance.
seasoned entrepreneur
So
with a variety of things.
I don't know nothing about working for other people. I hear about some of the stuff people go through on their jobs. I'd be like, well, I'd be locked up. I
But
already know.
see, I started entrepreneurship later in life.
Hmm.
My husband has always had an entrepreneur spirit.
Hmm.
Even when we was younger, when we was in school, he was the guy that was selling the candy bars, this guy that was selling the lollipops, the
That's
guy,
me.
that was him. Like they were like, "That's the candy man." Like he pushing sticker walls. He going to the store buying like big bags and selling it and stuff like that. And I'm like, boy, bye. But he always had that, even in school, and then it gravitated when we got married. But I wasn't there. I wasn't there. My mindset, I wasn't accustomed to it. I'm like traditional 9 to 5 or white collar worker, no
Hmm.
education. Because I was a behavior technician in the schools. I'm the one that went in to help students that was having the behavior issues and stuff like that, and also teaching underprivileged children.
Okay.
And so I wasn't accustomed. And then I worked in the factory for a little while because I got tired of that. I said, let me go and see how I feel to work to the factory. I just want to be by myself with myself, just punch the clock, do
Hmm.
this, get my money on Friday, and go about my business in my little hub, and that's it. And so I did that. and so I was like, okay, all right. And then we had children, and I was home with them. Of course, I had the health issues as well, so it just didn't make sense when we start having kids and you add it up to send them to daycare because all the money was going there. And I was like, okay, so I stay home and he took care of everything.
Hmm.
But I don't know, it was something that shifted for me. because I kind of like broke his spirit. I'm gonna be honest with you. I broke his spirit because he always was like entrepreneur, side hustle, something to do. But I wasn't there. I wasn't supportive in the beginning. And then he started back again with entrepreneurship, doing little things and stuff. I'm like, oh boy, here you go again. Because he always tried to pull me along. Like, come on, you know, you can watch this seminar. Do that. I'm like, no. And we ended up going to, you ever heard of Dr. Boyce Watkins?
Yeah.
Okay, so Curtis was taking some classes or something. And he ended up being one of his ambassadors for a course because he learned so much. They asked him, could you teach the people what you're learning?
Yeah.
With our course. And that ended up leading to Curtis. They asked Curtis to speak at one of his events. And I have never seen in my life Black individuals who was successful in person. You know, you see it on TV, celebrities. My idea of success was for Black people was sports, celebrity, that kind of stuff, you know? Because I never saw anybody in my immediate circle that was successful other than if, you know, TV stuff. And when I went in that room and talked to a lot of those individuals, and I saw a different way of living, the hotel that we were staying in, the way that they handle stuff, the way that they talk, the way that they eat, for heaven's sake, the type of food. I was like, Black people live like this.
Right.
Like, I'm like, excuse me. We in a penthouse.
Right.
I'm like, I missed this memo. I said, I didn't know. But you look at them, they just regular dress, you know, and I'm like, wow. And then my mindset started shifting. And then I was able to go into the private room because Curtis was a speaker. I was able to go into their private room with all the CEOs and all the people that was in there. And I was hearing their conversations.
Made you see your husband in a different light, didn't it?
And then I was like, you had the right idea all along. I'm sorry for breaking your momentum. I'll tell you, I don't get it all at this moment, but I'm telling you from this point on, I am with you 100%. Even if I don't understand it, I'm going to back you because you have the right idea, but you're like way over here and I'm like way here and I'm going to get in. So I just started, because I always was doing things that was business driven, but it wasn't a business, you know, I didn't identify.
You're a nurturer. You're a nurturer, a teacher, and a social worker.
Exactly. And so I said, boy, if I just would have had this mindset in my 20s, oh my goodness, you know? And so I'm teaching this to my children now, letting you know that they have options. If you want to be a blue collar worker, white collar worker, that's fine. But also realize that you can be your own boss as well.
That's powerful.
I felt that it was just one option. It's just one way to do it. And if you go against the grain, then what are your problems? You crazy? What's wrong with you? You're not gonna get that 9 to 5, that 401k. What is wrong with you?
I tell all my people, look, it takes a special kind of crazy to be an entrepreneur. It really does. And I mean, I've always been that kind of crazy. And I just like actually a girlfriend of mine and I were talking. I said, girl, I realized I cannot date nobody other than entrepreneurs. I know I can't because
they don't understand it.
Because
the mindset
it's like an obsession sometimes. Like, it's nothing for me to have 2-3 nights back to back where I don't go to sleep till 4:30 in the morning, and I'm back up at 7:30 because I've got to get it done. And if
your mind is working like this, and you don't want to miss that curve moment because you know once you stop, I understand it now.
Right.
And I'm
like, boy, if you don't come and get in this bed. But that's so important though. And I mean, like I said, you know, the wellness side of my nonprofit is I'm like, look, let's talk about this thing. You know, there's a barber by the name of John Cutter. I think his wife's name is Felicia, and they're in Beaufort, maybe. I want to get them in on our talk too because I think it's really important to have that conversation like what you're talking about, because not everybody's spouse is supportive of their entrepreneurial endeavors. So sometimes it really just does take for you to walk into a different room
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have a new experience for that light to come on and you'll be like, oh,
And that's what
that's what
happened to
we're
me, because
talking
he
about.
begged me to come to Atlanta, Georgia. I'm like, no, you can go ahead and go. He was like, no, I want to bring you and the kids. He said, they paying for everything because I'm a speaker. Tina, it's no excuse. Why can't you just come? I'm like, because that's your thing. That's not my thing. You know, I support you. You can go. He was like, no, I want you to come.
But I know he
And
was so
I'm so
happy when the
glad I
light came
did.
on for you.
Yeah, I'm so glad I did, because my life, my mind, it was like my mind was like this. And once I saw that and was put in the right experience, it like, I realized that it's open. I control this. I was holding
Yes,
myself back. And
yes. And look at you now doing the doggone thing, girl.
I was like, wow, wow. He was trying to get me to see this all along, but it took a minute. It took a minute.
Right. But there's nothing wrong with that though. I'm really happy for you guys just as a couple. And I hope one of these days we can get both of y'all on here at the same time.
Oh,
Um,
I'll be honest, girl. I'm transparent. I'm like, listen, I wasn't always on this bandwagon. Yeah,
yes.
I had that plantation mindset. I'm like, 9 to 5,
But think about how
401k.
think about how powerful that would be for a couple that's in that position right now. You know, to hear you talk about, and I mean, you draw the picture perfectly. It's like, I know that's right, girl. Shoot, I'm trying to get this check, trying to have the security, my benefits. I don't know what, boy, bye.
That's exactly how I was.
Change in your mindset, and now how passionate you are about what you do because you're still educating. You know, you're
Oh
still
yeah.
doing social work. You know, and you're still a behavioral technician. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You really are. It's just now that you've been able to translate, um, you know, the mindset that you were in before, and roll it into your passion. One thing you hear me say over and over, if you're in any number of my groups and meetings, you'll hear me talk about constantly. Your purpose is not connected to your success. Your purpose is connected to your struggle. Because when you go through struggle, it it unveils certain parts of you. You know, it's like it peels layers off and you get down to what's really at the root of who you are, what makes you up and what makes you unique and purposeful. So now you can go out and you can share that same information and those lessons with somebody else. That's your purpose.
Yeah,
And when you can
exactly.
find a way to tie that purpose in with monetizing that thing, you got no choice but to be prosperous. And that's what I believe is my calling to do, is help people bring out their purpose and connect other people who need to hear and see what it is that you have to show. So I really appreciate you. I know we got to get off of here.
Oh
3:04.
yeah. I had to totally learn from
Hmm.
trial and error. I had to totally learn all of this. But I'm glad that I'm finally on this journey.
Hmm.
I can't see it any other way. Like someone offered, I went back to do like a regular job, and oh my goodness, I was so miserable. I was like, I can't
I
do
tried to get a
this.
job. I tried to get a job. You know who keeps offering me a job? Verizon. I said,
Mm,
I think not. Because when I ran a massage therapy business for 10 years, for about 3 of those years, I used to do massage at their call center when they were at
mm-hmm.
Richmond Fashion Mall. Girl, those people coming there, they be like, oh my God. Now let me get on this table. Ooh, somebody gonna make me slap the taste out that mouth today. And I be like, you work at a phone. You have Verizon. What's
It's
so stressful?
stressful what people go
And they would
through.
always say it's not the customers, it's their coworkers. And just to see the cattiness and all of these little cliques of women moving around, and that just reinforced a lot of the negative thoughts that I had about the Black female community. But now that I'm out in my own space and creating that room for us to have these conversations, I see none of that whatsoever.
Oh
It's
yeah.
still always about mindset. So, like you said, and see what I talk about with the chosen few is I believe that we can all agree on about 80% of issues across the country. We all want to be more healthy, wealthy, and wise, right?
Exactly.
But there's that 20% that people have hangups on. And those are the three great dividers of the world: politics, religion, and race.
Yeah.
So, if we get hung up on that, then I can never learn what I need to learn from you. I can never
Mhm.
get that information from that older white guy. I can never get that information from that Republican. Whatever.
Mhm.
Who cares how you vote, who you love, who you sleep with, how you dress? I don't care about none of that. If you got a
Mhm.
resource and information that I need to make my life better, or somebody that I know, I need to have the good sense to shut my mouth,
Exactly.
listen, and learn something and see how I can take your message to somebody else to be a blessing to them. And then it becomes a blessing to the original person, and the green grass grows all around and around. So, I just think that's so imperative to our success, especially now. So, definitely, thank you so much for your time.
Oh,
And I
you're
look
welcome.
forward to connecting you with some of my other people.
I'm
Um,
so happy to meet more women from Columbia or
yes,
Kershaw or surrounding areas, because I'm really looking forward to doing things with women in the hub that I don't have to go out too far.
hmm
Um, and I am getting that. I put that out last year. I'm like, I'm gonna have me a network supportive, real true sisterhood, not just using that word.
yes,
I don't care how you look or whatever like that. It's just mindset, support,
absolutely.
and stuff like
Absolutely.
that. That's truly supportive. And I'm
Because if it
seeing
ain't,
it
we
start
wasting
to
time.
unfold. I'm
Yeah,
seeing it
because if
start.
not, we wasting time. I tell people, look, and I know people probably look at me sideways with half the stuff I say, but I be like, boy,
See, I'm like you, because me and
I
you,
meant
sometimes
that.
I can look at some people and I don't know how I'm making faces, but I'm like, girl, straighten up your face. I'm like,
Well, see, Zoom is great for that because I see myself looking how I look, right? Well,
yeah.
sometimes I intentionally not look at myself because however I look is how I mean to look. Because I say what I mean and I mean everything I say. It don't mean that I'm right on everything. Just as
Mhm.
far as I've been exposed to, I think I'm right. I'll be
Mhm.
like, I might be wrong, but I doubt it. And they be like, that you are. I'll be like, you ain't heard about me. Look, let me give you my website so you can go and hear about me. Then when you get done with that and have a little attitude adjustment, come on back in the room. And I know they be like, that thing crazy. They be like, yes, I am.
You have to be confident to yourself, and it's not arrogance, because a lot of people misconstrue certain type of confidence and arrogance.
Yes,
That's I have learned that there is a difference, really
absolutely.
different. And
Yes.
so I like that confidence, because I know that this woman believes in herself. And I know that, yeah, she might not have it all figured out, but what she do have figured out, she is confident in that.
Yeah, you
And that's
better.
how I am. I don't know it all,
Yes.
but I do know what I do know.
Yes.
I know.
And you know some things that other people don't know. So
Mm-hmm.
yes. Well, I'm gonna let's go ahead and hop off of here so we can get a little 15-minute break in before our next
Yeah,
call.
I'm getting ready to do that self-love, that self-care you said. I'm going to give me a bite to eat right quick, because
Yes.
entrepreneurs, we be skipping the meals.
Child can't do now. I will skip a meal if I know I'm not hungry. But if I'm hungry, I'll be like, y'all, hold on. Let me go get this orange out of here. I'll be sitting right here peeling a mandarin orange. I'll be like,
Uh-huh.
mm-hmm, true, true, true. But I mean, we're at home now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we got to cut out all the pomp and circumstance and acting like
Mhm.
everything is all right all the time. And I tell
Oh
people, one of
no.
the worst things you can do when you're in a room full of experts with information and knowledge is act like everything is okay. Because,
Ask questions. Be
yes,
transparent. Get your help.
absolutely. Another thing I like about Zoom is this chat feature, right? So, say I wanted to just send you a question and I didn't want everybody else in the room to know that I asked you something. I might want to ask, well, I'm going to just say X, Y, and Z. Whatever my question is, and I send that to you, it comes to you privately.
Yeah, I see that.
So,
Mm-hmm.
people could ask anonymous questions without anybody knowing who asked the question. So
Mhm.
especially in a sensitive subject area, like, and to me, it's not sensitive because I talk about everything.
Most women it is though. It's not sensitive to me anymore.
Right,
I'm not ashamed, but I realize that a lot of people are.
right. So in response and sensitivity to other people's issues and things like that. When we do this Zoom together, I'll make sure that I let everybody know, okay, now if you move your little cursor around, you look down the bottom, it's got that little chat button. You click on that and address your questions to Tina. So you just click her name and it'll say Tina Ramsay privately. And you can send her your questions. And then you'll get them and then you can answer them out loud or you can type it out in the group where it says to everyone.
Mhm.
And I also use that as a great way of people being able to keep their information or put their information out to everyone on the group. And Zoom, when you record it, it automatically creates a document out of all of the information that people put into the chat.
Oh,
So
that's great.
yeah, so I mean that's why I went on yesterday and upgraded my membership because when you have the free membership, you can do a 40 minute long meeting. Once you upgrade, and I think it's like $15 a month, it's unlimited time. Like I said, we were on here last night from 9 p.m. to 1 in the morning. Child, we on here. Some people done dropped off. Somebody came in late. We got some people singing. Some people showed some artwork and all kind of stuff. So I really do like this platform. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna go in here and slice up some lemon and put it in some hot water with some honey,
Oh yeah, that's
with
good.
some ginger. I'm gonna put it in there because I know I'm gonna end up losing my voice if I don't really help myself out. I'm probably gonna lose it anyway. I'm gonna have to shut up. But I'm gonna keep trying until it cut all the way out.
Mhm.
Pollen season doesn't help anything.
No, not in South Carolina. My goodness.
Child be popping Benadryl like candy. It's terrible. But it's
I
like
like if I have to use Benadryl, I like the ones that melt in your mouth.
mm-hmm.
The ones that melt because you don't have to worry about overdosing and all that other stuff. It's already pre-done, and you just pop it in your mouth and go. But see, I can't
Right.
do anything after I do that. I'm asleep. I'm knocked out.
Child, I'm immune. It don't even knock me out no more. I
I be
probably take
like,
6 Benadryls a day.
well, that's like, they be like, girl. I mean, and not for no one day. I'm talking about 2, 3 days. I am groggy for like 2 to 3 days after.
Really?
Yes,
See,
and so
I
if
know I
I
gotta
take
just
it,
do a
I can
detox.
stop everything.
I gotta do a detox. Matter of fact, while I'm making that tea, I need to make some detox tea. Cause once I get this liver cleaned out, I probably won't have any allergy issues. But right now, between stress, pollen, um,
Life.
you know, yeah, and all of that. Right now, my body is real toxic, even though I'm just drinking a bunch of water. So I know
Everybody.
detox.
I am more so because stress is a silent killer. And if someone said they're not stressed, I like to know what they're doing
Yeah,
because
because what world you living in?
yeah,
Because
I mean
we all stressed.
everybody's stressed. I don't care if you are natural. Like, come on now, you human.
Yes,
So
yes,
I'm stressed too. I'm very stressed. And then you have your own little personal stuff that you go through. And then what's going on out in the world. Like it's like a bad movie and we're playing a leading role in it and we can't turn the
absolutely,
TV off.
absolutely.
I'm like, I don't want to be in this movie.
Yeah,
Like, no. It's
it's kind
crazy.
of nuts right now, but we're gonna get through it. And when we come out on the other side of this thing, we're gonna be flourishing, girl. All our
Oh
businesses
yeah.
are gonna be just blowing up. We're gonna be so well connected. Every month and a half, every 2 months or so, we're gonna have another retreat going on somewhere. Oh shoot, how did I forget Ebony? My girlfriend Ebony Johnson lives in Chicago, and she flew
Mm.
me and 5 other girlfriends to Chicago the end of January to celebrate her birthday. So
Mm.
she actually, let me see, are we friends on Facebook yet? Oh yeah, okay, we're friends now. Good. So that's another person I got to get you on with because the same way you do advocacy for women's health and feminine issues, she does that with Legal Shield. So I just partnered with Legal Shield with her maybe 3, 4 days ago. So we got to get paperwork straight with that, make sure all my numbers is lined up. Because man, a lot of people gonna need a lawyer right now. A lot of people won't need a lawyer between employee issues and landlords is wherever they rent space from for work. Um,
Yeah,
there
my husband lost both of his jobs because of the corona. Our main sources of income because
what's
of
that?
my husband did.
He
Yep.
did.
His 2 jobs, which was our main sources of income, which is a big financial shift in our family.
Where
Like
was he working?
he was working for well, I don't want to say because we're recording, but I don't want to say the but it's a very
Let me turn
well-known
that off. Hold on.
photography company.
Hold on. Let me turn
Um,
that off.